What's up, cool cats and kittens? It's Uncle Mad here, live, Wednesday Night Live. I think that's a thing. Coming to you with our weekly look at the NFL schedule, giving out our best bets. No Sissy this week. She is bunkered down in her cave downstairs, wrapping Christmas presents until Christmas morning to make sure all the gifts are ready to go for the good girls and boys. So, since I won't have time to get with her to film a video over the next couple days, so we got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all the holidays, Boxing Day coming up, figured I'd do a live stream for our picks this week. Might try to call her, FaceTime her in later, see if we can get her to jump in, see what she thinks of the picks, maybe, something like that. We'll see how that goes. But this will be kind of a live look at what goes through my brain when I'm picking games. Probably give you guys an idea of why you should fade me more often than not, because I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm struggling with this stupid whoop right now. But I'm also watching the replay of the Everton Manchester United Cabaro Cup quarterfinal match from earlier today. If you don't know, I'm a huge Manchester United fan, so I have no idea what happened in this game. I managed to avoid all the spoilers all day today, so don't spoil it for me in the chat. Stupid piece of crap. Whoop. So you might get to see me have a meltdown in the middle of this stream if something bad happens to Manchester United. A lot of cool things might happen here, but we're going to go through the NFL slate. Okay, Ole's here too. He's trying to get attention. We're going to go through the NFL slate. We're going to see what games look like they might be interesting to maybe place some bets on, which ones we want to stay away from, just a general overlook of the Week 16 matchup, which love the schedule, having games Friday for Christmas, more games on Saturday, and then the usual Sunday slate featuring the chill, okay? Featuring the best game of the week, Sunday Night Football, Titans, Packers. That game is going to be nuts. But one thing, my goal for these picks when I'm looking at these bets here is to be smarter. I think I've been rushing some of my picks lately. I've been looking at it and just kind of going, this is what makes sense, going with my gut instinct, but I think I need to go with my brain. But because I haven't been using my brain very much, I've just been kind of gut reactions on some picks lately. So drinking an energy drink to keep me awake. For example, Monday Night Football. I had a pretty good weekend. Probably hit about 65, 62% on my picks over the weekend. Plus money, doing really well. Monday Night Football, squares to square picks, went with the Steelers, said this is their get-right game, a 2-game losing streak. They smashed the Bengals the last time they played. This is where they get right. This is where they come back down to earth. If I'd taken a second to think about it, if I just thought a little deeper, I would have thought, okay, well, what happened when they beat the Bengals so badly the first time? Joe Burrow, star rookie quarterback for the Bengals, goes out of that game, basically throws the whole Bengals game plan, whatever they're going to do, into chaos. So a good team is always going to take advantage of a situation like that, and that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers did in the first one. It's been 3-4 weeks since then. You know, Ryan Finley's been playing. He's an ideal person you want to play quarterback for you, but he's had time to practice, to prepare, to get ready, to be groomed. Cincinnati's been able to figure out what he does well, what they can take advantage of with him, how they can get wins with him as their quarterback. Meanwhile, on the other hand, people have sort of seen the flaws in the Steelers. They've seen what can be taken advantage of, what can be done to beat the Steelers, sort of the blueprint to beat the Steelers. So the Bengals were able to draw up a game plan to protect their weaknesses, attack the Pittsburgh's weaknesses, and win that game. I never in a million years would have guessed Cincinnati would win that game. But if I thought a little deeper, if I looked a little deeper, okay, you got to chill out. Thought a little deeper, I would have been able to see that 14.5, I think is what the line was. Way too. Pittsburgh's barely beat anybody by that all season. Only time they had was that last, something just happened. Steelers game when, like I mentioned, the Bengals lost their starting quarterback in the game. That's always going to throw things into chaos and cause problems. So should have just immediately been like, this line's too high. Ugh. United pressing a lot, causing a lot of problems. Should have immediately thought, use my brain, thought this line's too high. Pittsburgh's not going to beat them by 14.5. Should have gone Bengals, if anything. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to look at the games smartly with our brains, not our hearts, not our guts, figure out what the best bets are. All right, so but to do this, first we got to go back to the rule. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos talking about how I bet, I have a certain set of rules that I try to follow. It's not necessarily rule number one, but a rule I also broke on the Monday night game was don't chase things in primetime. Let the primetime games play out. Don't get over invested in them. Don't over bet them. I went back and I live bet Pittsburgh while they were down in that game because I was like, okay, I'm losing my minus 14 bet, but I can recoup it some because I thought Pittsburgh was going to come back. They didn't. I should have just left it alone, should have accepted my losses and moved on. So I broke that's the rule. That's the rule. We get to the primetime games when that's the only game on. You got your Sunday night game, your Monday night game. You got one game Friday that's going to be primetime. Saturday we're going to have solo games flying. Don't get over invested in those games because they're the only thing on. It's tempting to, because it's the only thing that's on, it's the only thing that's going on, to look at those and say, I got to win this. I can't let this game happen. When there's like 10 games going on, it's a lot easier to, if you got one that's a loser, two that are winning, it's a lot easier to like let that one loser go away. But when it's the only game on, sometimes it's hard to say, this game's a loser, let it lose. So got to get back on that. Got to remember. But the biggest rule, two biggest rules I have, don't bet on my teams. Don't bet on my team's rivals. Because either way, you might win, you might feel good, but it never works out the way you want it to. So there's two games on the NFL slate this weekend that I think fall into that category, and they're arguably two of the bigger games of the weekend. So kind of sucks to be out on betting those, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll start with the first one. It's a noon kickoff, so we'll go there first. Just talked about the Steelers. They're playing the Titans' rivals, the Colts, neck and neck with the Titans for the AFC South title. And they're playing on noon on Sunday with Pittsburgh. Let me look at this real quick. I don't know where that game is. I want to say it's at Indy. All right, let's look. That game is at Pittsburgh. So I was wrong. Not that home field advantage means anything this season, so it doesn't really matter. But that's where it's at. So we got Indy at Pittsburgh. A few weeks back, I think myself and a lot of Titans fans were probably looking at this game and thinking, this is our safety net. This is the game that the Colts will probably maybe keep us. If we lose a game somewhere along the way in this last little stretch, they'll lose this one too, so we'll all be copacetic. Not feeling that way right now after the way the Steelers have played the last few weeks, and the Colts seem to be rounding into form. Phillip Rivers, T.Y. Hilton seem to be clicking now. Jonathan Taylor started to come alive after having some struggles early in his rookie season. They're kind of two teams that seem to be moving in opposite directions, whereas a few weeks ago, I just distinctly remember like 4 weeks ago, people were talking about the Steelers and saying, are the Steelers going to go undefeated? Look at their remaining schedule. Is there a loss left on this schedule? Duh. They were not that good ever. I felt that going back to the Titans game that they weren't that good. We just played a horrible game against them. We played, the worst game we could have possibly played and still almost managed to come back and win that game. So I never really thought they were going to go undefeated, but there was a slight question of when they started 11-0 and we kind of looked at, they've got the Redskins, the Browns, the Colts, the Bengals left on their schedule. Maybe they will run the table. I don't know. They didn't. They've now lost 3 games in a row. So that's where we're at. So here's the thought process. Colts are playing a lot better than the Steelers have been playing. They're looking very good. They've kind of rebounded from the smash blowout job we put on them at their place a few weeks back. Steelers seem to be falling apart. Blueprint has been laid for how you can beat the Steelers. The question becomes, are the Colts a team that can implement that blueprint? Because the truth of the matter is, Phillip Rivers on the other side of the field, him and Ben Roethlisberger, they can probably do the Spider-Man meme to each other, probably point to each other. Hey, old quarterback with a noodle arm who can't really throw the ball anymore. You, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you, me. That's where they're both at right now. Phillip Rivers is playing better, I think mostly because he's probably got a better choose doing more things to protect him and get him. Frank Reich made Carson Wentz an MVP candidate, and now Carson Wentz looks like he can't play quarterback even back at his old school in Delaware. I don't think he can play there at the collegiate level at this point. So you got a better offensive staff that's getting their team in better position offensively versus, is Mike Tomlin the better overall coach? I think a lot of people think so. I don't know. I've never been fully sold on him as a coach. I've thought he's made a lot of weird choices over the years, a lot of bad decisions over the years. Like, there's been a few years where I thought the Steelers should have been better than they were, and maybe he was holding them back. I don't know. That might just be my weird hot take that's in my brain, but I don't know. He's good. He's got a Super Bowl on his belt. You can't ignore that. You got to go with that. So it's a tough matchup. The Colts seem like an easy bet in this one. I'm not going to bet it, like I said. If I was, the Colts seems like an obvious easy bet. It went from being Pittsburgh minus 2.5 before the Monday Night Football game against the Bengals to after that game, the line completely flipped where now the Colts are a 1-point favorite. It seems like an easy pick. If you're looking at everything that's happened lately, you're basically saying, will the Colts win the game? I think most people would say yes. But that makes me think that it might be this week's square pick, this week's too obvious pick, where things go the other way. Maybe we were all just a week early on the Steelers get-right game. Maybe we thought, okay, weak, measly Bengals, they're going to roll them. This is where they get their swagger back. This is where they get their mojo back. Maybe we were a week early. Maybe this is the week where that happens because we're starting to see some things. Bruno! Oh! I thought United was about to score right there. So some things are trending in a direction where maybe the Steelers have woken up and realized, they're not as good as they thought they were. Juju Smith-Schuster came out today. Going to stop doing his stupid TikTok dances on the other team's logo. Getting smashed in the face and fumbling the ball first play of the game will do that to you. But maybe that's an overall team thing. Maybe Tomlin seeing that he was letting too much stuff go, that he was too loose with how he was letting the team play. Maybe he was starting to see the way they were running their offense. Maybe they need to make some adjustments, that it was too simple. Because that's the big thing that a lot of people are saying, is that their offense was just simple. They were doing a lot of short, quick, easy routes for Ben to be able to throw quick passes, because he probably can't throw deep as good as he used to be able to, if at all. Maybe they see now that's not going to work. Teams are going to jump that. Teams are going to sit on that. They got to start being a little more creative, start changing things up. Maybe this is the week where they wake up, get right. Because now they're sitting in a situation where they had the AFC North locked up. It was done and dusted. But if they lose this game, suddenly they're basically playing for the championship of the AFC North next week against Cleveland, who has been on as good form as anybody in the league for the most part the last couple of weeks. So do they wake back up? They could, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, if I was going to bet, I'd probably bet Indy, but I tend to mess up and always go with the square, huge public sides and end up being completely wrong. So I really would like this to be the game where Pittsburgh gets right and comes back to earth and gets back on a roll, because I need Indy to lose, because transitioning over to the other game that I'm not going to possibly even think about betting this week, the Titans' toughest matchup they'll have for the rest of the season for the most part in the Sunday Night Football game against the Green Bay Packers. We lose that and Indy wins. Suddenly Indy moves up to first in the AFC South, and we are having to hope for, miracle of all miracles, Indy to lose a second game to the Jaguars next week, which, come on. So let's look at that game. Titans, Packers. Good grief, United is just knocking on the door here. Probably the best matchup of the weekend. There's a couple others that look good. Seahawks, Rams, some other ones. But, it's in Sunday night, Lambeau Field. In a different world, I would have loved to have traveled up to Lambeau and gone to this game. In a unique times right now where things like that are been a really fun thing to do over a Christmas break, but it is what it is. So, in a weird way, I think this game, being at Lambeau Field at this time of the year, oddly enough, benefits the Titans more than it benefits the Packers. The weather forecast is sub-freezing, 28 to 25 degrees, wind gust of over 15 to 20 miles per hour in the forecast. What the Titans would normally most be afraid of in this game is Aaron Rodgers just picking them apart, passing them to death, and he would do that. If this game was in Nashville, Aaron Rodgers would probably throw for 700 yards and like 10 touchdowns, set all the records, because we wouldn't get any pressure on him. He would have all day to sit back. Our secondary is getting a little bit healthy with Dory Jackson coming back. Maybe we'll get Christian Fulton. Maybe we'll get Kenny Vaccaro, but still, it doesn't matter. You can have Deion Sanders, Darren Woodson, Rod Woodson, Jonathan Woodson, Carl Woodson, Charles Woodson, all in the secondary, and you give a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers no pressure and just let him sit back there. Eventually going to find somebody open and just kill you. That's what would happen if it was a pleasantly nice weather day in Nashville. Does the weather slow that down in Green Bay? I think it has to an extent. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is incredible. He's as used to any quarterback playing under those circumstances, so he's going to be as prepared to play under those circumstances as anybody would be, but it just has to slow anybody down. But the biggest key, whatever you want to throw out, is just the Titans have to get off to a good start. If you look at the Bengals game, the Steelers game, and what's the other loss? What's the other game we lost? Browns. The key to those games was the Titans 3-and-outs early, didn't get into any kind of offensive rhythm, and we were down by like 2-3 scores before we even knew what happened. We can't afford to let Green Bay do that because we're not going to come back if that's the case in this game. On the other hand, we get off to a good start. Arthur Smith has a good script to get the game rolling, a little bit of tractorcito here and there, maybe even a little play action because they're going to expect in tractorcito to kind of catch him off guard, let Tannehill cook a little bit. That's the key. We have to get off to a good start. If it's score for score, fine. Get into a shootout, see who comes out on top, that's great. But if we come out, we go 3-and-out, give the ball to them, Aaron Rodgers goes out and scores, 3-and-out again, he goes out and scores again. That's the recipe that's lost us 3 out of the 4 games we've lost this season. The Colts game's kind of an outlier because we kind of went back and forth, and we imploded in special teams in the third quarter. So that's a little bit of an outlier, but the key to us has been either we get off to a hot start, make the other team have to change their game plan, and then we hold on to win. Or the other team gets off to a hot start, makes us change our game plan. We play from behind. A couple times it's worked and we've come back. Vikings, the first Texans game, but more often than not, the 3 losses were we got out of a rhythm. The other team got up to a fast start. We couldn't come back. We ran out of time and couldn't score. So that's ultimately what's going to come down to. The biggest knock on the Packers, the one thing people say is why, their high-powered offense, everything they've got, why they're not considered to be the same class as the Chiefs, why some people don't even think maybe they're not even the favorite in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl over the Saints, is their defense has been very weak, especially weak against the run. Guess who does really good things with the running game on offense? The Titans. The Titans actually have the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, by the way, too. That's crazy. Didn't realize that till this week. That's insane. Big up to the Titans for that. That's incredible. Who would have ever thought we'd be sitting in that situation? But once again, that all doesn't matter. We're at our best when we get off to a fast start. Look at the Lions game. It's kind of a little bit back and forth early on, but we just kept going. We had our rhythm. We got some turnovers. Our defense didn't play good in that game. I mean, secondary was okay. We forced some turnovers. That's the key. We got to force turnovers. We got to bend but no break. And offensively, we got to be efficient. We got to stay on the field. We got to convert third downs. We got to keep drives alive. We got to get points. I could see the game going a lot of different ways. I could see the Packers absolutely blowing us out of the water. I could see it being a back and forth shootout with whoever gets the ball last wins. I could see us grinding them down with Derrick Henry and their weak defense getting United looked like they were in trouble there for a second. I don't really have a feel for the game in terms of who's going to win. So even if this wasn't against my rules for things I don't bet, I think this would be a game that would be a stay away for me just because – actually, it wouldn't. Anytime there's a primetime game, I'm going to bet it because it's just – when there's only one game on, you got to have some kind of action on it. I might actually bet the over on this. The over's at 56. Seems crazy for, the Titans are basically scoring 40 on their own the last few weeks, but I think the weather is kind of playing into that where people are saying both offenses are going to slow down. Another rule, I don't bet unders. They're just not fun. It's never fun to root for teams to not score, to not get points. It's destructive and anti-football. I don't like it. So that's another rule for me when betting. I don't bet unders. So I might bet the over on this because it's one where if it loses, it sucks. I don't like to lose bets, but doesn't have the double whammy of like if I bet the Titans and then the Titans lose, it's like double heartbreak. So if I bet the over, it is what it is. Overs and unders are kind of funny. I've kind of been moving away from them lately because I haven't been good at them particularly. And also you almost know like within like the first 5 minutes of a game if they're going to hit. So they're not as much betting the spread or betting the money lines because you know so quickly like, okay, we've had 4 straight 3-and-outs. This over is dead. So, but I might do that on this game just to have something. Not really betting on the Titans to bet the over in the game, but I don't know. We'll see. Not locking anything in there. Not going to do that. Probably won't think about it till closer to game time, which that might move. If the weather forecast changes between now and Sunday, that's a lot of time. That number might go up. Maybe it is good to lock it in now. I don't know. This is how my process works. I'm talking through things. Lock it in now because if maybe the weather clears up and suddenly it's going to be a little warmer, a little less windy, maybe that ticks up closer to 60. I don't know. Not going to make an official bet here today with that one. But on that note, let's look at the overall schedule. Let's see what we are going to bet on. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to look at FanDuel just because it's the easiest one to pull up and look. To look at the games, see what numbers look good, what games look maybe good. But once I find a game that I think we might want to bet on, I'll kind of shop around, see where the best line, the best odds are to see where we can get the best number on this. I might also try to get Sissy on. Maybe I'll FaceTime Sissy in and see if we can get her thoughts on it once we have some numbers. So let's look. Okay, we got Minnesota, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Detroit, San Francisco, Arizona, Miami, and Vegas. What's jumping out to me? All right, so I try to look at the games in sequential order. Why aren't these? So like we got the Christmas game. We got Minnesota, New Orleans. New Orleans is a 6.5 point favorite in that game. Drew Brees is back. He pushed Kansas City to the wire. But can he beat Minnesota by a score or more? Kickoff time for this game is 3:30 on Friday, Christmas Day. It's the only game. It's a highlighted game. Does this count as a Kirk Cousins primetime game? I want to think it does. Saints defense has dropped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. They looked like a Super Bowl level defense. The Chiefs will do that to you, though. They'll make a great defense look like not so good. I kind of like that game. I'm going to have to play something on that game just because it's the one game Christmas Day. It's a Christmas Day game. You can't not bet a Christmas Day game somehow. Over-unders 51. That's a little interesting. Maybe there's a way to put that into a teaser somewhere where we bring that number down, because that's the one thing that scares me. I feel pretty confident New Orleans will beat the Vikings. Do I think they'll beat them by a touchdown, which is what you're saying with a 6.5 point spread? I don't know. I want to put that number down. New Orleans 6.5. Maybe if we have another one that we're kind of questioning, maybe we'll put them together and make a teaser. That's an idea. So I'm going to put that down. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Tampa Bay is a 10-point favorite over Detroit. Right away, I'm looking at that and saying that might be too much, but maybe that's where we put the teaser together. Maybe we put Tampa Bay and New Orleans together, bring both those numbers down. I'm going to kind of look at that. That is interesting to me. Because those are two games where I feel like both teams will win, but I don't know if those numbers are the right numbers. San Francisco, Arizona, stay away. Those teams have been all over the place. No idea what's going to happen with them when they play. But it's going to be the only game going on at the time it's going on Saturday. Might have to play something. Not going to do anything with it now. Live on Saturday. May tweet out something with that. Follow me on Twitter if you're not already. If you're seeing this on Twitter, you're already following me. If you're seeing this on YouTube, follow me on Twitter at Uncle_Mad, Mad with 2 Ds. Pretty simple. If I end up doing anything with any of these games that I haven't talked about on this video, I'll put it out there. Quick note on that as well. No cat video this week picking college football because the bowls are too all over the place. There's random bowls at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for no reason. I'm watching Memphis, Florida Atlantic right now, as well as the United game. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what bowl this is or why it's being played. So I'm kind of sporadically picking bowls. I'll tweet those out as I have. Oh, Pogba won't score. Jeez. But follow me on Twitter for those additional picks. I will have the cats back and the dog Oli will be involved to do picks for the college football playoff, but all the random bowls, I'm just kind of pick and choose as we go, and I'll tweet those out as I decide to add those to the card. So follow me on Twitter at Uncle Mad, at Uncle_Mad, Mad with 2 Ds. Pretty simple. San Francisco, Arizona. Stay away. Miami, Vegas. These are two teams that I've been high on at various points in the season. I bet the Dolphins at one point to win the AFC East. Not happening now. Bills clinched it. They've been getting back into form. Vegas seems to be going in the wrong direction. It's at Vegas. I don't know. That's it. What? If you want to be on YouTube. Once again, that's a primetime game on Saturday. I'll probably bet something on it, but right now, looking at it, don't feel comfortable on either side. It kind of looks – I'd lean Miami right now, but I think that's for now. Not going to lock anything in on that. Going to keep away from that for now. Chicago, Jacksonville. Chicago 7.5-point favorite. I like that. I think Jacksonville's quit. I think they now are in the driver's seat for Trevor Lawrence. They are not going to do anything to risk screwing that up. Chicago has played themselves back into being somewhat in the mix to potentially get a playoff spot. I don't think they get there, but Mitch Trubisky is playing for his next job at this point. I think Chicago, no way they're going to get him back, but he's playing for his next job. Matt Nagy is playing to make sure he does not get fired, or if he does, to get another job himself. Jacksonville's dead. They can't afford to win this game. Can't afford to even risk trying to win this game. So Chicago should be able to win that one comfortably. I'm going to say that's first one that I'm 100% locked in on is Chicago 7.5. All right. Giants, Baltimore. Baltimore 10.5-point favorite. Giants have been falling apart. Baltimore seems to be hitting their stride. These big numbers scare me. Like the two biggest numbers last weekend, the teams that were the big favorites, Rams 17.5-point favorite over the Jets. The Jets won outright. We already talked about the Bengals and Steelers. Bengals were a 14.5-point dog. They won outright. Baltimore's desperate. They can't afford to lose. They can't afford to risk anything. They're technically on the outside looking in, but I think they're probably going to, when everything shakes out, somehow get into the playoff here. 10.5 is a big number, though. I'm going to put a question mark there. I got a reminder. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put a question mark. That's not an official pick, but I am thinking Baltimore 10.5 there. All right, here we go. Falcons, Chiefs. Chiefs 10.5-point favorite. Chiefs, for whatever reason, have not been able to cover it all. Falcons are playing teams close and losing. Atlanta 10.5 makes a lot of sense to me right there. But I'm going to put it down as a question mark because it feels so stupid to bet the Falcons versus the Chiefs and lose. That's another rule. It's not like really an official rule, but if I'm looking at a bet and I know if it loses that I'll feel dumb for betting it, I tend to not bet it because that's almost like a double whammy. If like you lose the bet and you're looking at it going, what was I thinking? That was the stupidest thing ever. I bet the Falcons against the Chiefs. When the Chiefs win that game like 42-10, I will feel very stupid after that game ends. So, but the Chiefs are just basically like coasting right now. They're just doing everything they need to win a game, but not really. They're doing just enough. They're like, I feel like they're saving everything up for the playoffs. That's why we're going to put a question mark there. Jets, Browns in New York. Cleveland's a 9.5-point favorite. I'm going to put this in the same category as the Jaguars game. I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in and say, yeah, I'm taking Cleveland by 9.5 because the Jets screwed up. They have put the Jaguars into crap. We got Minnesota minus 8.5 right now, and Florida Atlantic seemingly coming to life right now. That's not great. So the Jets had Trevor Lawrence locked up. All they had to do is keep losing, and then they beat the Rams. I think they were trying to lose that game, and the Rams just out-screwed up that game more than the Jets somehow could. The Jets are going to come back. They got the win. That was their Super Bowl for them last week. The Browns now are smelling blood in the water. They know they win here. They've got a chance to maybe go and get the AFC North title against Pittsburgh next week. A little dip for them last week against the Giants. I think they rise back up this game. Do they beat the Jets by 10? I think they do. That seems easy to me. I'm going to say that's officially locked in as our second official pick of the week. Cincinnati, Houston. Nope, not going to touch that. That seems like complete crap. Just stay away from that. Chargers, Broncos. Nope. Stay away there. That's just, who knows what's going to happen in that game. Ugh. Cardinals, Washington. Cardinals, not Cardinals. Carolina, Washington. Washington's a 1.5-point favorite. Do I not know something? Because I think Washington's playing like their 6th or 7th quarterback because Haskins is out for going to strip clubs during COVID. Alex Smith probably isn't coming back. Kyle Allen's already out. Tyler Hinkie, I believe his name I heard, is who's playing quarterback for them. So that's weird. That one's weird. Why is... I mean, Carolina's been kind of like Carolina right there. I don't know why Washington's the favorite. I'm going to put a question mark there. We might be coming back to Carolina right there. Philadelphia, Dallas, stay away. LA, Seattle, stay away. There's too many of these teams that are just up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so we've got... Okay, so we try to do 5 picks on our pick show every week. I think I've got 5. I think I can get to 5 here. All right, so we're going to do New Orleans. We're going to put Tampa together. We're going to do that one as a teaser. I'll enter that in a second. We'll see that it brings it down to. Chicago, 7.5, locking that in. Cleveland, 9.5, locking that in. I'm going to say we're going to lock in Baltimore. I'm going to take that Atlanta one off. Because that one, like I said, that one I would just feel so stupid if I bet that. And then Kansas City just smashed them. That would just make me feel like such an idiot. So we're taking it off the board. We're going Carolina. All right, so here's our picks. While I'm live, while we're doing this, oh, don't call that a penalty. Nil-nil, if you're wondering at this point. We're in the 35th minute of the first half of the United-Everton game. All right, so we're going to do a New Orleans-Tampa Bay teaser. We're going to do Chicago minus 7.5. We're going to do Baltimore minus 10.5. Cleveland 9.5. Carolina plus 1.5. It's going to be our 5 official picks right now. All right, so let's go to the books. Let's see who's got the best lines on those games. I've got money in DraftKings. I've got money in FanDuel. I've got money in Action 24/7. No, actually, I lost all my money in Action 24/7. That's our local sports book here in Nashville. Hate that I lost it, but I'll eventually put some money back in there and get back involved with them. But I've been doing better. I didn't do really well, whatever reason, with them. So, hi, Joseph in Kenya. Thanks for watching. So let's see. All right, let's go through. First up, let's build that New Orleans. Let's see what everybody has got New Orleans and Tampa. So New Orleans 6.5 on DraftKings, 6.5 on FanDuel. Let's look at MGM, see if that number's any different there. It is Get off my screen. It's up to 7 on MGM, so we're going to stay away from MGM, I think. 14. And all right, so we're going to go with DraftKings for our teaser. It's like they got the best numbers. It'll work for that. So we're going Saints 6.5. They've got Bucks 9.5. Poopy. All right, so we get the bet slip. I don't want to stop. Bucks 9.5. We got the 2 there. Do a teaser. All right, so the teaser is going to take Saints down to half points. So it's a pick 'em. Bucks to -3.5. That works. That works for me. That'll work for me. Okay. All right, place bet. Cool. All right, we got our teaser locked in. All right, let's see who's got the best line on the Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Let's look at who's got the best line on Chicago and the Minnesota Vikings. Is that who they're playing? Where can I find this game? Did I lose it? Chicago. No, they're playing the Jags, right? Okay. All right, so it's -7 on DraftKings. 7.5 on FanDuel. And it is at 7.5 on MGM. So we're going to go DraftKings again. Don't want that hook. So we're going Chicago -7 on DraftKings. All right, Baltimore. Let's see what the Baltimore line is. Find it. Get behind it. Baltimore is an 11-point favorite on DraftKings. They are 10.5 on BetMGM. And on FanDuel, they are 10.5. Let's go FanDuel. Let's put a FanDuel bet. Ravens 10.5 FanDuel. Florida Atlantic has closed to within 8 points of Memphis, so I'm now losing that bet. After Memphis started out 18-0, now I'm losing that bet. Great. Probably should tell you to not listen. So McCaffrey's going to be out. Is that why? Carolina is the underdog in that game? I don't understand what's going on with that game. That game is so weird to me, but whatever. Not a game that I'm that weirded out by, but here we are. Welcome to my life. All right, so we got Baltimore locked in 10.5. Now we're looking for Cleveland. Cleveland, 9.5-point favorite on FanDuel. $9.5 on MGM. And 9.5 on DraftKings. Let's go MGM because we haven't done an bet yet. Let's put one there. Okay. 9.5. All right, so we got Cleveland locked in, 9.5 points there. Just tell me what's going on with this. Got a notification on here. What's it telling me? Oh, it's showing me I've got a live bet there. All right, so last pick we're looking at Carolina. Carolina, oh my mind. That's not a song, right? Did I just make that up? I don't think that's a thing. All right, what do we got on Carolina? Carolina +2 on BetMGM. +2.5 on DraftKings. A little extra hook there. FanDuel +1.5. That is, I just think nobody knows what to do with this game. I'm going to take the biggest spread possible. We're going to go with Carolina +2.5 on DraftKings. All right, so we've got our 5 picks locked in. All right, so here's what we got. We've got the teaser, New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Got that teased down to Tampa Bay 4.5-point favorite, New Orleans half-point favorite. So essentially, New Orleans just has to win. Tampa Bay wins by 4.5. Field goal touchdown. Just a touchdown. We're good there. Chicago, we got them down to -7 over the Dead in the Water Jaguars. We got Baltimore -10.5 over the Giants. Cleveland -9.5 over the Dead in the Water Jets. And we have Carolina +2.5 against the Washington football team, who I don't even know who's playing quarterback for them. Feels weird that they would be the favorites in that game, but Carolina's not very good either, I guess. Still 0-0. About to be halftime of the United. Oh, almost found Cavani there. We got a little late action. We're into the 45th minute. Coming up on halftime. Is there anything left in this game? We got a free kick, late free kick from United. We got our picks in. We got our previews in. That's probably all we're going to do for this. I'm going to watch the rest of this half here on the stream, just in case something insane happens here in the last minute or so. So you get to see me go nuts, go wild. Had a lot of good Christmas stuff on the channel lately. Just put up part 2 of our Gaylord Opryland experience staycation. The video is not lagging. Stayed at the hotel, Opryland Hotel. We had a beautiful Delta atrium view from our room. It was great. Go over to my channel if you haven't seen that video already. Check it out. It was awesome. Ooh, save. Nice little free kick. Put it on the wall. Like I said, inevitably, I probably will put some action on the games that are kind of standalone games. I got that New Orleans game, the teaser. I may end up adding an additional pick on that game because I'm going to watch it. So it always makes games more fun to watch if you have a little bit of something on them. Having a teaser on that, I don't know if that's enough for my attention span. We'll see. Like I said, I'll tweet out any additional picks, any bowl picks, anything like that. Not that you would want to follow my picks because I'm plus money since gambling went live here in Nashville. I had I was like plus, let me tell you where I'm at. I finished November. Okay, so November I was plus 38 units. I don't know how that's possible. Seems like a lifetime ago, but I was plus 38 units for November. Started fresh in December, wiped that clean. I think I had some of those, like, I hit a couple big bets, a couple like easy parlays and stuff like that, and a couple of brainer bets that they do as promotions and some. So that was, yeah, that's what it was. So I was plus 38. Dang, plus 38 for the month of November. At the start of the day today, I was plus 6 units for December. That can obviously turn very quickly. 2-0 today on picks that I had in today. Memphis did look like it was a comfortable pick, but that one's starting to go in the wrong direction right now. So my record's not great, but I've hit on some bets that have made sure I stayed profitable. So like my overall record for the month of December right now is 46-57. So the record's not great, but the profit has been good. So do with that what you will if you choose to follow my picks or fade my picks. But I'll tweet out any additional NFL picks that I add. Like I said, probably something Friday. Almost definitely I'll add something to the Saturday games because I didn't really do much with them here. Just feel like I need a little bit more on those, make them a little bit more fun. Oh, Memphis just scored. Okay. Good job. Go Tigers. Go Memphis Tigers. Okay. That's all we're going to do for today. We're going to wrap this up. If you were watching live, thank you. If you're watching this later, thank you as well. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post just random stuff all the time. Like I said, we've had a lot of cool Christmas videos coming up. Usually post about 1 or 2 picks videos a week. Go to Titans games, post videos there. Someday I'd like to go to a Predators game again, maybe post a video there. MTSU games, Vandy games, whatever. Subscribe to the channel. Follow along. Follow me on Twitter at Uncle Mad, at Uncle_Mad with 2 D's. Happy Festivus. That's what we'll wrap up with. Happy Festivus, the airing of the grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people, and by you people, I mean world in general. Grievance number 1, my bets lose too much. Teams need to start winning when I bet on them. Fix it. Grievance number 2. I'm still on furlough for COVID. The thing I'm doing right now while I'm on furlough from my regular job is okay. Don't want to do it forever. Get me back to my regular job. Fix it. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I actually have a pretty good life. I don't have a whole lot of grievances. Things are pretty good for old Uncle Mad. There's people that have it a lot worse than me, so I can't complain too much. Now for the feats of strength. Here. Okay. That does it. We've completed all the Festivus traditions, except we didn't get out the Festivus poll. Oh well. Do you have anything you want to add before we go? He does not. Thank you once again for joining us. As always, bet responsibly. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus. Don't stand so close to me. Turn this thing off. That's my dad. I was doing an impression of my dad right there. I know how to turn it off. I'm not stupid.